You are tuned into the new home for IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with Coach B.
And Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio, 1350 a.m. IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
Where the pros talk sports in Riverside and San Bernardino. Fox Sports 1350. KTDD San Bernardino. An iHeartRadio station.
Los Angeles Lakers.
This is Xavier Henry from the LA Lakers. And you're listening to IE Sports Network.
Yes, we
don't need your mic. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, we don't need your mic.
live radio, man. You got to love it. It is IE Sportsnet, IESportsnet.com, right here live on Fox Sports Radio. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here. And let's make sure we don't have to talk about Downey today.
Man.
This is a week I give you permission just to leave it alone.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll leave you. For fans out here, I'm going to give you a little backstory. If Coach B ever calls you before a game and says, hey, you think, you get a call from Coach B, it's like a day before game day, hit decline.
Right.
Yeah, because already the Downey coach probably is probably a little upset at you. Because that Coach B still representing the Vikings.
There you go. I got my Downey hat on this morning. In spirit. Coach Shelton. He was there when I was in high school back in the 90s, and I couldn't believe because I went to an alumni game and he was still there, and I was like, Coach, you still here coaching, man? So
still on deck.
And I should have known because we're here at the iHeart Media Studios in Riverside.
A stone's throw away
from JW North.
You can see the W if you look outside.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can look outside. But, my man Dikembe Martin and those boys went out there and took care of business.
They went down to Downey and played and beat them. So,
so anytime you take a trip down to Downey and then down to Vikings, so big up to my man Coach Barty. He's been there for a long time. If you'd have called me, Coach B, I'd have told you.
You would have told me.
I'd have told you, don't do that. But anyway, I digress.
And you know what? I got to make sure we do our disclaimer. We're going to give some high school sports. And as you know, high school sports are powered by IESportsnet.com. Log on to IESportsnet and get the latest updates. Now, it's your turn.
Yes, sir. I mean, you can get those. One of the things that is great about IESportsnet.com is you can go there. You can get up to minute. I mean, I'm talking about like live, real-time scores right there at IE Sportsnet, and these are only for the Inland Empire schools, man. So it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
So we need to really go ahead and jump right on into this, Coach B, because a lot of stuff is going on. We almost have like royalty. I feel like it's the Obamas are coming down. I mean, it's such a big deal when you these Chino Hills games.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was gonna say I'm here every week. So when you said royalty, I was like, okay, I'm always here.
Oh my, holla! Do you hear this dude, man? Oh my goodness, this guy is crazy. Oh man, but it's a beautiful thing going on again. It's IE Sports at IESportsnet.com right here live on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 a.m. here every Saturday morning. I guess we just go ahead and jump right on into it, man.
CIF playoffs is going, man. It's the beautiful time of the year.
Playoffs, and next stop is the Honda Center, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's going.
I think they're in Anaheim, but I think they're at the convention center. We can ask Rome. Rome is here.
Honda Center? Oh, there's 3 sites. Yeah. So Rome is he was like, we're going to have Rome come up here. Rome is the man.com.
He's like, you want to talk high school basketball.
He's like, why don't you guys get back and kind of let a professional come in here?
He was like, I actually played high school basketball. I coach it now. I've won.
Right. But speaking of Fontana, the Kaiser Cats really were doing well. And tough game last night with the Edison Chargers. It looked like it went down to the wire, man, but they fell to the Edison Chargers. We're talking about the Fontana Kaiser Cats, 56-53.
I wonder if that school is named after the Edison because they're called the Chargers.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we got to figure that out. Megan Reza, her brother, I think she went to Edison.
Wow. Okay.
We should reach out to her.
Reach out to her. She's doing big things now. She got the 3 with the ESPN and stuff.
Right. The 4-letter cuss word. But let's in the next game. We don't necessarily have to talk about this. I mean, this is the team. Kind of hurts my heart.
Well,
hurt my Vikings
because Coach Rome was just talking about private schools, and so anytime a public school goes out to a private school and lays them down, takes them out to the backyard and gives them the old-fashioned licking stick whooping. I mean, my goodness. JW. I mean, and they're just running around here. I mean, I guess they're spending a lot of money on gas nowadays.
Yeah.
They went out to Downey, took care of business.
You didn't have to say that.
I'm sorry.
It's not important.
They went out to Downey and took care of business. And the next stop, yeah, exactly.
Look at Greg.
Yeah. Hit him, Greg.
You guys are just killing me today.
And then the next stop was St. John Bosco. Now everybody knows about Bosco. I mean, I think they're more known for what they do on the turf and the football field. But JW North, led by my man Dikembe Martin, committed to UCR. Beautiful thing. Excuse me. Went out there, took care of business, 78-51. I mean, that was almost a 30-point woo-wop.
Exactly. And one thing that I do like, man, growing up in Downey and going to Downey High, one school that we did not like, of course, was Warren. But the second school we hated because they were right next to us was Bosco. So anytime a team beats Bosco, JW North, you made up for me because they said, hey, you know what? We took out his Vikings. Let's go take out
next stop.
Now, if you guys can beat Warren next, I might wear a JW North hat. That's just a thought. So that score was 78-51. And then, like you said, this is the funny thing. Michelle Gardner said it early in the season when she called in. You have a season. I believe they're like 21-7 or something. I mean, they're killing it. They are balling out in their division, but they're the second best team in their city.
Go imagine that right there. That's something, right?
The Chino Hills Ayala Bulldogs, they defeated the Loyola Cubs 71-65. So, and then another school that they're not a private school, but they are. Rancho Verde. The Mustangs, they fell to Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits 47-44. It was a close game. And then a drum roll, Mr. Holler, because a team that we always talk about, number one in the IE Sportsnet poll, number one in the state, number one in the nation, number one in my hearts. Do the honors.
Sellouts after sellouts. I mean, it feel like young Michael Jack is back. You know what I mean? Can I get a hee-hee? I mean, we're talking about none other than the Ball brothers.
Take your time.
Chino Hills and them, the Huskies.
The Ball brothers and the cousin.
And the cousin and the partner. It's five of them on the court, man. So went out, Chino Hills Huskies, man, went out there and took care of business. This was lined up to be supposed to be like a real big game.
Right.
Chino Hills, modern
I guess they didn't get the memo. Chino Hills didn't get the memo.
Chino Hills never got the email, apparently, that this was supposed to be a big game. So apparently they left the staff there. And it was sold out. I mean, at 6 o'clock, I remember I sent you the picture.
Right.
At 6 o'clock, there was already a line around the corner.
You said ESPN was there?
ESPN was on deck. It was 3 major media outlets there. And they came and they saw what I would describe as, like, when Michael Jackson turned into the werewolf.
Right.
Just
I'm not like most guys.
I'm not like other guys.
Right.
So they went out there and just tore it down, man. Chino Hills. I mean, and these boys, man, let me tell you something. They jumped out in the first quarter 33-6. So just in case you thought it was going to be a game, it showed up. I think that the best game, or the more competitive game, was the warm-ups.
Right. I mean, the JV probably could have gave Modern Day a better run. But
I heard that a lot on Twitter.
But check this out. The thing is Coach Rome is here, A.B. Miller, friend of the show. He's here to talk about about the season, and then we're going to talk about the Inland Valley Basketball and Football Classic later. But this is one thing that Rome said, and check this on the magnitude. Coach Knight has been there a good 30 years. Rome said he can never remember a game ever in modern day's history having a running clock. So, and think about it. It was a running clock, and they still put up 102 points.
Well, they wanted to come out. I think what was happening was modern day was getting a lot of that pub. They had private school. I mean, I remember playing against modern day in high school. I remember they showed up. They had like about 30 players on the field. We were like, oh man, I thought these boys supposed to be nice. And then all of a sudden,
freshman team.
All of a sudden, we turned around. And it's like these lines, these long lines. I thought it looked like Roman 300 or something like that. All of a sudden, these lines and something like the Persian warriors was coming in.
We are.
Oh man, I was like, wait a minute, man. I thought, like, is there rules against this? I mean, we had literally about 100 and some odd kids out there. It was crazy. But anyway, modern day is known as. They're a very notable school out here in Southern California.
If you see their gym, it looks like it looks better than some junior colleges.
Well, the gym and the football field. I mean, the school is. I mean, it's a real big deal. I mean, a lot. I mean, I couldn't imagine what their budget is annually.
Yeah.
They're piping some money through that bad Oscar. But at any rate, money or no money. The Monarchs got dealt with by the Huskies. Again, it was 102-54. Next stop, and as one of the guys was saying, because the LA Times guy I was really reading a lot of his tweets. I forgot what my man's name
Eric.
Something.
Yeah. I can't pronounce his last name.
He's legit. He's now on the IE bandwagon. I want you to know
yeah.
that, because before I think he had some questions.
But that's the way the LA Times has always been. Even growing up, you never got, because I remember when I was in high school, and like I said, this was I think 91, 92. We played against Centennial Huskies, and I remember Coach Shelton was like, "Yeah, we're in the playoffs, and we're going to be playing Centennial Huskies." I was like, "Where's Centennial? Where's Chino? I mean, I'm sorry, where's Corona? And back then there was you got off the freeway, and it was just fields and dirt.
No, hey, agreed. I mean, I'm from Riverside.
Oh, you grew up out here. Oh.
You know what? Who beat y'all this week?
Yeah, we don't have.
Who beat you guys this week?
I think we got our caller coming in. You want to knock out a quick commercial, or you want to?
I guess we'll go to commercial real quick, man. But again, if you guys ever want to get up to date, again, high school scores are powered by IESportsNet.com. Log on and get up-to-minute scores on IESportsNet.com.
You're listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B.
And Eternal, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM and the iHeartMedia app.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our Four Seasons sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609. Again, 1-800-352-1609. A fee-based company.
From Jackie Robinson to John Elway, Southern California is home to many of America's greatest high school athletes. Now you can add to that legacy by voting for your favorites on a new website called SoCalPrepLegends.com. Log on today and vote for the best plays and players from the teams in your area. You'll find everything you need to make your selections, including stories, stats, videos, and more. Show your team spirit and give your players the recognition they deserve. Go to SoCalPrepLegends.com and see the stars of today become the legends of tomorrow.
What's up? This TJ Ward from the Denver Broncos. You're now tuning to IE Sportsnet.
The Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Yes, we are back. It is IE Sportsnet, IESportsnet.com, right here live on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops right here.
Yes, indeed. We have a very special guest on the line. And, you know, this young lady, very special young lady, we were talking a bit off air, you know, I know her mother and father well. You know what I mean? Her father more so. Her father used to, I mean, this is my guy right here, used to cut my hair back in the day. You know, like when you have like the neighborhood barber. I mean, I would come to, you know, my man would try different styles on me. So big up to my man, Chris Ginwright's out there cooling Riverside aficionado.
All right. I was going to say, did you? Hey, what's your follow-up, man?
I mean, you know, Coach B's looking at me like, are you done yet?
Yeah, no. I'm thinking, okay.
Well, I was getting my accolades in, man. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure I prepped the hookup right. But if you would please be kind enough to introduce yourself to the IE Sportsnet audience, please.
Oh, hi. I'm Kiara Genwright.
Ms. Ginwright, how are you this wonderful morning?
I'm good. Just getting ready for the game later on.
Yes. So I mean, you know, you guys have a tight schedule. You guys are like traveling. Well, you know, your team again, the San Francisco State Gators. You know, you guys were making the Southern California swing last night, and you guys had a very tough game against UC San Diego last night. And then obviously tonight you're going to be going into Cal State San Bernardino. You know, you're kind of like your home area in the Inland Empire. Maybe you can kind of talk about the game last night.
Oh, the game last night. Well, before when we played them, we really did not do very well. It kind of came into our house and just scored back to back. So last night we did significantly better. We stopped them. Our defense, they couldn't get past us. And if we would have shot the ball better, we could have won, but nothing was going in for us last night.
Well, that's all good. I mean, I know that, you know, this is going to be a big game for you because obviously you're making the return to the Inland Empire, get a chance to play in front of your friends and family. You know, I know that you've done some great things. You've had 9 blocks against Chico State. You know, I know maybe you could tell us as a freshman. What's been like? What's like the best for you? Is it getting blocks or is it scoring points? What would you say?
The best part would be scoring for me because the blocks, you know, that comes natural. But I had to always work on scoring the ball. Like I always had to work on my game to make sure I can score the ball. Oh, I feel like that's better because it helps out. Well, blocks help out the team too, but I feel like shooting the ball and helps out the team even more.
And once again, we have Kiara Genwright. Hopefully I said that right.
She's gonna dunk on you.
I know, right? Freshman at San Francisco State, calling into IE Sportsnet on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. You know, I was looking at your bio, and I see when you were in high school, you were named the Defensive Player of the Year twice. You received all league honors. How did that help you at the next level? I mean, you're averaging over 4 blocks a game and almost a steal per game. How did that help you out?
I mean, it gave me some confidence. Like I felt like I can do something. So I came to college thinking I remained humble, of course, but I came to college thinking that if I worked hard enough, I can do something. I can make a difference out there.
Right. And then we were talking about off air. Now, you know, there's 6 siblings, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then your older sister played college basketball as well. Now, did she have any advice for you when you went off to? I mean, because you know your hometown is Riverside. You're a long way from home. You're all the way up in San Francisco.
Hold on, man. Say that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hometown is what now again, Coach B? I'm sorry. Say again.
Okay.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure we got that out there. You know what I mean? You know.
Eddie's a little excited because you're a Riverside guy. Now, you're up there in the Bay Area. I don't want you to get influenced about that team that I think they're called the Warriors or whatnot. But
oh my God.
Yeah, but did your sister have any advice for you when you were going up to the Bay Area? That's a long way from Riverside. Be up in there in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She did. She was very helpful. My sister's like my best friend. She was just basically telling me, you know, like, work hard, you know, don't let anyone, you know, tell you what to do. Like, outside of basketball. Don't let them try to influence you to do different things. You're there for basketball, things like that. And she's always, if you need anyone, call her. She's really, really helpful.
Bisukter, come take care of it.
Exactly. Don't make me take the trip up there. That's a good thing. Yeah,
she's always been there. She's ready to fight.
Beautiful. Now, now that you've obviously matriculated to the next level, you're playing college basketball at Frisco State. What is, and I know that you were, you had some, you ran, you were a great high jumper as well, if I'm not mistaken, at King High School. That's correct?
Yes. Indeed.
So maybe you could talk about something in the college level game that you didn't expect that you're now encountering.
These girls, they're not. Well, I know from last night, the people that play my position, the centers, the fives, they shoot threes.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And I did not expect as much running as there is. I couldn't do it when I first got there. I struggled for like a couple of months before I really got into the flow of things.
Well, that's good.
And then that one thing. And speaking of that, you're playing at the high school. At the college level, you were very successful at the high school level. Your hard work and dedication got you to the next level. Now, if there's kids in Riverside, if there's kids in the IE in general that that they want to be the next kid to go play at that next level, what advice do you give? Because you just talked about the struggles you have. What is some advice that you can give for a senior right now that's looking to go on to that next level?
I would just tell them, keep working hard, get in the gym as much as you can, and do not let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. Because if you can put your mind to it and you work hard enough, you can do anything that you want. And if some colleges don't come to you and you want to go to that college, you send out film and you reach out to them.
That's good advice. It didn't work for me. I tried hard, but I could never get off the bench.
Yeah, his let's just say his demo, his highlight reel was a low light reel. Let's just say that.
No coach wants to see my reels. Not at all.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, Ms. Ginwright, again, we thank you very much. I want to tell you, you have a great support system. Obviously, your father was very instrumental, but the folks over at San Francisco State, I want to say, they were calling. They sending emails. They were all over it, man. So you're obviously at a good school. Yeah, it's your first year there, man. So congratulations.
And keep up serious time.
Yeah, and getting some time, getting that work. That's a beautiful thing. So keep up the good work, and we wish you the best of success tonight. Okay.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'm gonna see if we can't get Eternal out there because he said he took the wedding pictures of your parents.
Yeah,
so
man,
hopefully you got a newer camera.
Yeah, I got a better camera now. You know what I mean? So now I can make sure I can get a little. I can get closer and stuff. So.
No Polaroid.
But well, you take care of yourself. You have yourself a wonderful day and have a great game tonight, okay?
All right.
All right.
That's you talk about some history, man. That's a little trivia you didn't give me, man. You shot his wedding pictures.
Yeah,
man.
she wasn't even born yet, man.
Yeah,
so I was out there, man. This again, that really good family. I've known them for a long time, and big up to the Ginwrights.
And that's the crazy thing, man. When you go back and Facebook has changed the world, man. It's like a lot of people now. I'm starting to connect with people from high school. And last time I saw some of these people, man, we were 16, 17 years old graduating high school, and now you see these people that have a lot of kids. They're doing it's just crazy, man.
And you see the reverse. You go like, oh man, homie, in high school you was a man. Man, what happened to
absolutely.
You have that dynamic as well.
And then you'll have a bench warmer that couldn't get in the game and couldn't play. Now they're on Fox Sports Radio, so
oh boy.
So we ready to take a commercial break.
Yes, we are. And coming up, we have a very special guest here in the house, so you guys don't want to miss. You guys want to make sure you stay tuned. And again, for all live scores, you guys can always go and visit iesportsnet.com.
Absolutely, the one and only. He doesn't need introduction. The legendary Coach Romanelli from A.B. Miller. You know what? It's funny. I know we got to go to commercial, but the funny thing is, I remember we went to meet with Aquanetta. So we set up the meeting. It was the city hall was closed that day, so Aquanetta's assistant had to come get us. So we're walking up, and Rome is maybe 5-10 feet behind me. The lady comes and opens the door, looks right past me, like, "Oh, Coach Rome is here." I'm like, "My name's Brian." You got a few more years to put in, brother. That's what that was right there. She was like, "Oh yeah, you too." Come on. Yeah, I guess you can come in. So it's all good. So let's take a commercial. You're listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B.
And Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM and the iHeartMedia app.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our four-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah! No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609. Again, 1-800-352-1609. A fee-based company.
From Jackie Robinson to John Elway, Southern California is home to many of America's greatest high school athletes. Now you can add to that legacy by voting for your favorites on a new website called SoCalPrepLegends.com. Log on today and vote for the best plays and players from the teams in your area. You'll find everything you need to make your selections, including stories, stats, videos, and more. Show your team spirit and give your players the recognition they deserve. Go to SoCalPrepLegends.com and see the stars of today become the legends of tomorrow.
Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong, you heard?
Yes, we are back at the IE Sportsnet, IESportsnet.com, right here live on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops right here.
You know, right now, it feels like the Godfather. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You know, remember when my man had to come through and he had to ask the Don Corleone, hey Don Corleone, you know.
Hopefully he doesn't kiss you on both cheeks, because if you do, it's a problem.
So you gotta have a horse head in your bed. You know what I mean? It's gonna be all bad. You know what I mean? You know, this gentleman needs no introduction, but it's always good for my man to go out here and introduce himself to the IE Sportsnet audience right here live on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. So, Coach, please introduce yourself, sir.
Good morning, guys. John Romanelli, A.B. Miller High School. I just survived the barrage of ethnic jokes to start the show. It was a good Saturday morning. How you doing?
This guy is great.
I don't know if we already said Michelle Gardner's the 5th Beatle, so we can make him the 6th Beatle. So,
Coach, how you doing, man? I had obviously, man, had a spectacular run. We've obviously had you on the show, but again, last year you took a year off from coaching. You put the suit jacket back on, got back out there on the court.
Say, this is how we do it.
Yeah, kind of like, hey, showing the world how we do it. And then, man, I mean, what a spectacular run. Maybe you can kind of give us your thoughts on the season now that you kind of wrapped everything up.
Yeah, well, I'm in the postseason hangover right now, trying to figure out what to do with all my time. But, I'd rather still be playing.
You can do the Inland Valley Classic.
Yeah, it's not going to last very long, right? Basketball keeps you busy. But, no, we had a terrific turnaround. I believe they finished in 7th out of 8 teams in the league last year. No playoffs, and this year we were playing for a piece of the league championship potentially on the last night of the season. And 21-7. And all the credit goes to the kids. They bought in, they listened, they believed, and most of the kids are back from last year. So just a tremendous turnaround. I'm really, really proud of what we accomplished this year. And it's hard to put that in perspective after you lose your last game because you're disappointed. But when you look back and reflect, it was amazing. And we were led by a trio of sophomores and a really class act group of seniors that came back and wanted to have a great season. So no, it was a great experience. I'm really happy to be back.
Yeah, I mean, because I remember when you came into the studio, we brought a lot of the kids in, and you told us early, hey, I don't want to get crazy with the expectations because you're saying you had a young team, but obviously you guys were able to do some great stuff. I mean, we talked. You sent Coach B a message about that tough game you had almost like a week ago from today. Well, it was a Friday night you had that game,
right?
And your sophomore standout, KJ Allen, had that big 3-pointer for you guys. So maybe you can kind of talk about that playoff run for you, that last little segment of the year for you, and how special that was for you personally.
It was just great to be back in it. There's nothing quite like the feel of a playoff game, playoff atmosphere. Again, the group of sophomores, KJ in particular, he's a very special player, great kid. He's got a tremendously bright future. But, yeah, he hit a big-time shot. We what people don't understand is that we kind of limped across the finish line. We had a great year. The only teams that beat us were all ranked in the top 10 in their CIF divisions. We didn't have one of those trap game losses where you lose to somebody that probably shouldn't beat you. So our losses were all the really good teams. But we lost 3 guys in the playoffs. One, Zach Harper, went down with a concussion the second to the last league game. He didn't play again after that.
Wow.
We also had another young man that didn't play in the playoffs, our 6th man, our most athletic player. He was a senior. He didn't play in the playoffs either. And then, against Kaiser in our last playoff game, get to the quarterfinals, you've won 2 games without 2 key guys, which is a huge accomplishment.
Right.
And then Christian Reed, who's, there's no doubt, and if there was any doubt, it's gone now. He's the heart and soul of our team. He's our glue guy.
Yeah.
He had a really nasty dislocated finger.
Oh, wow.
Middle of the second quarter against Kaiser. And when you're already down 2 guys and you lose that guy,
right.
We just couldn't overcome that. So we kind of we had a great crowd, great Fontana crowd that night, both sides. Kaiser brought it out in force. It was a fun night. I'm just disappointed we couldn't compete better, but being down that quality of guy times 3, that really hurt us. So but Kaiser went on. I followed them on Twitter last night, man, really frustrating. The coaches there do a great job. Jarrell and Jason Perry, class group of kids too, really proud of what they've accomplished for the city of Fontana as well. Twitter's great, but following games on Twitter, basketball's such an immediate sport.
Man.
You gotta go to IESportsnet.com.
But I see what Coach is saying because I was trying to follow the Chino Hills game because you want to get that engagement. You want to seeing the score is one thing, but you want to get the engagement. And I was doing the same thing. I know what you're talking about. You're trying to because the game is going. By the time you hit a refresh, 10 points may have transpired. You know what I mean? So
that was Pete Marshall at the Kaiser game. I was kind of toggling between Pete at Kaiser. My buddy over at Rancho Mirage, they were in a big playoff game. They were 30-0 going.
I forgot about that.
And then I was kind of on Eric Sondheimer's Twitter too for the.
That's his name.
Sondheimer.
LA Times.
The modern day, and that was just more of a curiosity because that game was over in the first 5 minutes, but I just wanted to see when's the running clock coming, what's going to happen. So, but Kaiser made, they were down 15, and then the next tweet was, 3 or 4 minutes later, it's like, holy bleep, Kaiser 19-4 run, they're within 2, and I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Right.
And it was frustrating to kind of take in basketball that way. I couldn't get out last night. So.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's good stuff. And once again, you listen to IE Sportsnet on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM with Coach B and Eternal. Now we have Coach Rome. I just say Rome because I'm not going to butcher up your last name. Coach Rome from A.B. Miller. Now, you know what? I want to talk a little bit about the season. Like you said a little bit earlier, you guys were highly successful, 21-7 overall, 10-4 in league. You won the Desert Edge Scorpion Challenge out in Arizona, so you took your boys out to another state and you whooped up on them. You know, you talked about something earlier in the interview, and I want to touch on this. Last year, you guys didn't have a very good year, and you've been at A.B. Miller. You were the coach before you took a year off. How long were you the coach?
This was year 17, I think.
17. So this is a program you pretty much, this is your baby.
Guaranteed.
How difficult was it for you to step away from 1 year and see the struggles of the A.B. Miller program?
I mean, it was difficult just in a lot of senses, just being off the court myself, because that's kind of where I like to be.
You weren't happy not coaching last year.
Right. And to watch them struggle made it worse.
Right.
Because they're good kids, and it was just and it wasn't as much a talent thing. It was more of a chemistry thing and things like that. And it was actually a really easy fix because they're good-hearted kids.
Right.
You met a lot of them in the studio here. They're great kids, and so it wasn't really a difficult fix.
Right. And they're young. I mean, to have all those sophomores coming back, so I know the teams in the Citrus Belt are going to be a little nervous next year when you guys come up. And then, I have a personal question for you, Coach. This is I love, we spend a lot of time away from, just radio and planning the Inland Valley Classics and so forth. I grew up at a time when I watched greats like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Shaq. Last night I was at the Cal State San Bernardino game. When I was younger, it was inside out. Magic would come down the court. He would look for Kareem. He would look for James Worthy or something. Inside out. Nowadays, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-on-1. These kids are jacking up threes. And it's like that Golden State Warrior thing. It's starting to all work its way down. I remember it's like when I was, speaking of Coach Shelton, you would see Jordan do something. You didn't have nearly the athleticism. And you try to do it in practice, and he'd do layups over his head. And I remember how my coach would just go nuts. And it seems like that's what's happening when kids are following this the pros. And what are your thoughts about that? I mean, the center is dead. Is the center gone?
Yeah. Back when you were growing up and they had laces on the ball still.
Right.
No,
we still had the basket. Helmet. They had to get a ladder and go up and pull it out. So.
Chuck Taylors on their feet. And all that stuff. No, I think the game is definitely changed. It's gone to a more European feel in a lot of ways.
I was about to say that,
yeah. But it's more guard oriented for sure. My high school teammate Sean Rooks, he coaches Philadelphia with the Sixers now. He was 6'11 center. We went inside out when I was in high school. There was no 3-point line. My senior year in high school, that came in the next year, 1987. Sean, we've remained friends to this day, but I remember when he was a young player in the NBA, and he would have an East Coast road swing where he'd go guard Hakeem one night, then David Robinson the next night, then Patrick Ewing the next night. And it was like a gauntlet he had to run. And, the game, you don't see those guys anymore. The center doesn't affect the game as much. It's more guard-oriented. I just saw somebody come out that said Steph Curry's killing basketball. Steph is
I agree.
Young kids are emulating who they see, but they're not able to do what he does. He's an amazing talent, and that's going to trickle down,
I think Mark Jackson said something about that. Mark Jackson said that, and what's the girl name again from UCR? I mean, the San Francisco State we just had, Ginwright.
Oh yeah, Kiara Genwright.
She said, I don't know if you heard it, but she was saying that we said what's different about the college game, and she was surprised. She said the fives shoot threes.
Right. So you have to be able to step out and produce points from there. And you're seeing a lot more bigger guards, your Kevin Durant's, things like that. And it's the game has definitely changed. But think about football too. I mean, it's parallel to football as athletes have gotten better. Bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, when I collected football cards as a kid, they always had a designation for 1,000-yard rushers.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, running backs don't affect the game like they used to.
Right.
No. It's all spread. It's all athleticism and speed now.
Well, one of the things I think about is you think one thing about when you see the playoffs. So this is one thing I think when you look in the playoffs, you need points, and that's where I think last year was a big dynamic in what you saw with Golden State is because generally you think when you think playoffs, you go, hey, shooting teams are going to, that streaky stuff isn't going to work, especially in a 7-game series, and people are going to catch on. But again, you saw something different with the Golden State Warriors because generally you want to get those easy, close points by your big man in the playoffs. And the same thing works with football. You want to get those short yards and you want to kind of slow the game down. So, I think the center is still a big deal. But again, now you see I think the game is a lot more wide open. What are your thoughts about that, Coach?
No, you're absolutely right. And you were talking about Draymond Green being a center at 6'7".
Yeah.
I don't know that Draymond Green is nearly as successful if he gets drafted 10 years ago.
Right. A lot of these players. And
Right.
speaking of that, Coach, Steph Curry, they try to compare, and I'll ask you this on that point. They try to compare the Golden State Warriors to the Bulls that set the record. Steph Curry couldn't play in the 90s because the game was much more physical. Could you imagine Steph Curry going to the bucket and somebody from the Knicks taking him out? He couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. There's a lot to be said for that. I grew up in that same era watching those games, and I watch some of the games on TV now that are mid-season games. It's like you don't even want to watch them.
Right.
You know, it seemed like every game back in the late 80s and early 90s was like a playoff atmosphere.
Right, competitive. Yeah.
The rivalries were, the guys hated each other.
Yeah, now they're hugging and
a lot of that has to do with the AAU circuit. You got guys from the East Coast playing on the same AAU team as guys from the West Coast or whatever. They see each other 4 or 5 times a year in high school, so they all know each other now.
Right.
And guys back then wouldn't talk to each other before a game.
Yeah, no.
And we talked about this on air. When I grew up, when we went to Downey, and then we would play in the park against the kids from Warren. There's no way in the world we'd play on the same team. Were you the same way, Coach? Coming up, there's no way in the world I would play on a team with a Warren Bear.
Yeah, no, we high schools were fewer and further between back then too. Now there's a high school every 5 miles,
right?
And the kids kind of bleed over from one school to the next. There's so many transfers going on now. It's just it's a bigger community,
right?
Which I think is good. But maybe the competitive edge is kind of dulled a little bit in that
right.
sense because you're playing against friends all the time now. It seems like.
Yeah, it's just a different game.
Acquaintances, at least.
I just want to ask you because I know we're getting close to our time, but I want to ask you about Chino Hills. Obviously, they're doing some big things. I think we kind of talked about them a little bit last time we had you.
You talking about the community college from Chino? that community college team
that has half of UCLA's roster.
Right, exactly.
You don't have to stab me in the heart with that.
Take that. Yeah. But I mean, Coach, maybe you can talk about it. I mean, obviously, it was scheduled to be a big game last night, and ended up being a track meet within the first 5 minutes. So maybe you kind of talk about the Chino Hills dynamic a little bit.
I saw them last year. I haven't seen them play this year, but I followed them like everybody else in the area. At this time of year, it comes down to matchups, and whatever was going on last night, they got the matchups wrong. That game shouldn't have ended up like that. I think. I mean, I don't know what Mater Dei did or didn't do. And again, I haven't seen Mater Dei this year either. I usually see them once or twice a year, but regardless of all that, that score is just ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy.
Right.
Insane.
Absolutely insane. Yeah. And Mater Dei just beat Centennial the other night, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're playing good basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, I was going to say, go ahead.
Well, I know they had one thing I did see, because as I told you, it was 33-6 in the first quarter. But one thing I did know, there was 10 turnovers as well by Mater Dei. So obviously that contributed. That contributed to them taking L. Because now all of a sudden they do what Rome talked about. They do that fast break thing where they're throwing full court lobs, and these boys are just crazy. So
it's really a cherry pick situation in a lot of senses. I mean, you have to take some of your defense and
right.
get them back further quicker. And so that's just what I'm being told by everybody that's seen them play. So they're spreading the floor really well, and whatever it is they do well.
Yes.
That's what every coach wants his team to be.
And the funny thing is, they say Lonzo Ball is the senior, but they say the youngest one, it may turn out to be the best of the bunch. I don't know how true that's going to be, but we'll
see about that.
We'll definitely see. I know. Let's take a quick commercial break. I do want to talk about some Inland Valley football and basketball classic. Can you hang out a little bit longer with us, Coach?
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and we got to give the Inland Valley basketball classic some attention and time. So let's go ahead and take a commercial. You're listening to IE Sports Network. Coach B.
Andy Turner. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM and the iHeartMedia app.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our 4-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah! No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventors information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609. Again, 1-800-352-1609. A fee-based company.
This is Ryan Kelly with the LA Lakers. And this is IE Sports Net.
Yes, we are back. It's IE Sportsnet with IESportsnet.com. We're here live on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here. I think you're having too much fun, my man.
No, I was just laughing about, we were having some fun off air talking about, sports politics. All right, one thing about Coach Rome, he has a wealth of information about what's going on with the Inland Empire Sports. So it's always good to hear that.
And that's what, speaking of that, I love this. This is, IE Sportsnet. We started 4 years ago.
Yes, sir.
We were the first. And we were just chugging along when we started in 2012. We were, we had humble beginnings. We were at a small station that was in a broom closet.
Man, you had to watch your wallet when you came up there.
Exactly. And Rome came there. He sees that we've moved on up. And the thing is.
And so is he.
Exactly. And now that we've gone and we've moved up, one of the reasons IE Sportsnet has been successful and one of the reasons IE Sportsnet has exploded the way it has, and it's a direct reason we're on Fox now, is because this gentleman, Coach Romanelli.
Indeed.
Funny thing is the former football coach at A.B. Miller. We were doing some events with him and we were pitching, and the guy said, hey, the coach, he said, man, you should go talk to my athletic director and tell him all the good stuff you're doing. So I was telling Rome about some of the stuff we wanted to do, and then Rome, I remember it like yesterday. He sits back and he says, you know what? I've been thinking about doing this basketball game. What are your thoughts about doing this? And Ed Eternal can say, I promised you the world and back. I probably told you we could get the Lakers to play in it. But as soon as I walked out of your office and I knew you couldn't hear me, I called Eternal. I said, man, I don't know what.
We just got ourselves.
Yeah. I said, I promised him jerseys. I promised him.
I just started writing stuff down. I was like, whoo, I guess we got work to do,
That's
brother.
a tough list. Right. That's a tough list. Right. But, Coach, do us the honor and let us know just the history of, with you being, you said the story about you being a young coach and how important that game was to you and why it was important to bring it back.
Yeah, the game used to be run by the Daily Bulletin.
Well, if I may, what's the name of the game, players? I mean, 'cause I know we got to talk about exactly what's the title of the game, please.
The title is the Inland Valley Basketball Classic.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
They used to run it at Cal Poly Pomona. The Daily Bulletin did. They did a tremendous job with it. The press was very involved. You had your, Louis Brewster and Pete and Michelle Gardner, and it was just a really class, top-notch event. And it went away 5 or 6 years ago, I think, maybe 09, I think we established. But as a young coach, I used to take my best player to the luncheon, and I met a lot of my coaching colleagues at that luncheon, and it was just a really good time. And they really honored the kids. It wasn't, hey, get your high school jersey from your coach and come out and play a game. It was a great honor for the kid and their family. And it just, after that went away, it just left a big void. And so I wanted to do that for 2 or 3 years. And again, meeting you guys was what really pushed it over the edge. I mean, Brian did kind of not really follow the true sales model of under-promising and over-delivering. Yeah. He over-promised, but then he delivered on that over-promise.
Exactly.
Hey, that's why we're successful.
Indeed.
I saw this is our opportunity. I told Ed, I said, this is our shot. We got to do this.
Got to do it.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. And you know, I gotta do a quick shout-out because everybody's talking about Chino Hills basketball. But what everybody's missing right now is the Chino Hills girls are in the
Oh, man. Yes,
tonight.
they are. Man, we saw that, man. Sorry about that. We should have mentioned that. Excuse me.
What's so special about that is our girl, Janessa Trope, who was in our volleyball game because she's just that great.
I remember that name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she won one of our awards at the volleyball game.
Yes.
And Janessa and I had a little side conversation because, you know, I'm always like drawn into basketball people. So I believe, if I remember right, she's committed to Oregon State to play basketball.
Nice.
And so she's leading that Chino Hills girls team to the semifinals tonight.
Wow,
so
congratulations. Congratulations.
And just to mention that, so the Inland Valley Classic, it was the basketball game, but then we expanded it. So in November, no, it's December. December, we have the Inland Valley Volleyball Classic, which had
great.
The best girl volleyball players in San Bernardino County. And then in January, we did the Inland Valley Football Classic. And then in April, it's kind of like the Rose Bowl of the series. It's the granddaddy of them all.
Granddaddy, baby.
It's because this game it's got years behind it. So the Basketball Classic is the game that'll be coming up in April. And in May, we're going to be doing the soccer thing.
Yeah, we haven't set the date exactly for soccer yet. We're working on that. But the basketball game will be April 17th.
Yes.
Sunday evening. We're going to do the banquet 2 Thursdays prior to that. So it's on the 7th, I believe.
Yes.
And we'll be putting information out about that in the next few days. Soccer's going to be big too, though.
Oh, man, I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
So,
the greatest American-born soccer player is right here from the Inland Empire.
Yeah, Donovan.
Don O'Van. From that commercial, Don O'Van.
Right. Redlands represent.
Exactly.
Now, Coach Romanelli, talk to us about how the players they get, I don't say drafted, but they get picked to be involved in the Inland Valley Classic, because I know that was something that you were very
there's merit behind it.
Yeah. You were. I mean, I was really excited about the way you went out and got those players, because everybody was engaged. They came from different pockets of the Inland Empire. Maybe you kind of can expand on that, please.
What we do is we send out a nomination form to all the coaches in the area. And it's not just you'll give us your best player. It's give us your best player, but your best player that has maybe some community service ties.
Right.
Has to have good grades. Has to be a great guy or great girl, not just a great basketball player.
Right.
And I think that really showed in the game.
Certainly.
You got all these quality kids out there.
Yep.
And one thing about basketball coaches that I've, stereotypically is they're going to be honest. And if they got a kid that's really good, but not a great kid.
Right.
They have another kid that's pretty good, but is a tremendous kid. They're going to honor the kid that really deserves the honor. And, and I think that really helped our game. It really helped our game.
No doubt about it.
And one of the good things is, it was one of the kids, he was from Ontario Christian.
Yes.
I can't remember what his name was.
Tyus Dennis.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Great basketball name.
He shot us a message, and he was excited because he was playing. He went to a community college, but now he's going to play, I think, D1 or D2. And he had
I want to say, was it Biola?
Yes. Oh my! Look at Rome.
Yeah.
Rome got off.
I'm telling you, he's
that's
all
what
over
I'm talking about. But he sent us a message because he was excited. And when they did the story about him, Michelle wrote about him, and then they did it at the school paper. He had the picture of him wearing his jersey, the Inland Valley Classic.
A really good kid
year.
too. I got a chance to talk to that kid, and he was a really good kid. Obviously, come from a good family. But that was and another good thing that I like about what we're doing with the All-Star Game is we got to make sure we mention this is girls and boys. So it's the girls' game first and the boys' game afterwards.
And the girls' game was better.
I was just about to say, and last year we noticed those girls were. I mean, that was just I was totally engaged, man. I mean, it was great.
The girls brought it. That set the tone. I think that girls' game, since it was literally the first game we did in this series of All-Star Games, that set the tone for everything else.
Absolutely, man. I believe that.
The girl reminded me of a young Steve Nash.
Oh, man, the one girl, Richardson.
Yes.
She won the MVP.
Yes.
I don't know what her first name is, but I know the last name is Richardson. I do remember that.
She's at Cal Poly?
Yeah, Cal Poly.
Somewhere, because we had her. And the good thing about it is she's a good person, because we had her and Dennis on the show afterwards.
Yep.
And she was just well-spoken, very humble. Her parents came out.
Yep.
Very, very nice girl. We appreciated her coming out.
She played with a lot of fire.
Yeah, and one thing that's to you, I know the game is important to you, but talking to you and being around you, the banquet seems more important to you.
I like that banquet was great, man.
Explain, because I know you said before when they had the game before, you'd get your senior and you guys riding together. You'd listen to the NCAAs.
Right.
Tell me a little something about why that banquet is, because that was the first banquet we had in the series, and it really set off the whole tone for the Inland Valley Classic series. Tell us a little bit about that banquet, Coach.
I think the banquet is so special because that's really where the honor happens. The game is what it is. Kids are always going to come out and compete, and it's fun. But to get all those kids dressed up in shirt and tie and dresses and pantsuits, they come out looking really nice, and their parents come with them, and they get to be called up in front of a crowd of their most important supporters and the press. And that's where we announce the teams.
Right.
Who you're playing with, so you get to meet their teammates. And then all the coaches come to support too.
Yeah.
If I remember right, we had 185 people at that.
Oh man, that was great, man. I was
athletes.
And it's
funny because
it's funny because we were all looking at each other like, are 2 people going to show?
Yeah,
are 3 people going to show?
I was, because it was during the day. It was like 10.
It was a Thursday morning.
Thursday morning,
right.
and I was just like, wow. I was so nervous. And then it was just great. People showed up, man. Everybody was engaged. Really great time.
I came out and did an appearance, and
you did.
It was
That's
special.
what the talent does.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Michelle Gardner was there.
Yes.
And the good thing about it, and like we say, Coach, you turn on an eye. We can't say it enough because that game pretty much it gave us respect and credibility. The coaches came up to us, and no one really knew about IE Sportsnet at that time, even though we'd been plugging away for it a couple of years. But it really introduced us to the San Bernardino County basketball scene.
Well, you guys legitimized the game, though. I mean, bringing what you brought.
I know. No.
I mean, if I do the game, it's just a high school guy running an all-star game. But you guys bring in IE Sportsnet. And one thing that I have to say, one of the things that you overpromised on but still delivered with, which makes our games so unique, is that kids don't have to go ask their high school coach for their uniform to play this game.
Exactly.
We're
your
giving
idea.
them a uniform that they get to keep, and they can show their kids 10 years, 20 years from now, hey, this is how good I was. I played in this all-star game. And I know a lot of the football guys were having their teammates sign their jerseys after the game.
Yeah.
Especially
I didn't see that.
No, I did see that because Rome made sure he gave me some pens and stuff. We passed a couple out, but that was a big deal. I know we have to make sure we do that for the basketball game
Thank you
well.
to Ken Sporting Goods. It was Jason over at Ken Sporting Goods that helped make that happen and facilitate that. And then, I know we're pressed up against the time, but one thing that I want to ask you, Coach, and you're a San Bernardino County guy, full high graduate. You've been in Fontana a long time. Why is in you're a San Bernardino County guy? Why is this game so important to the San Bernardino, the largest county in America? Why is this game so important?
Well, if you look around at the Orange County schools and you go out to the valley, up the Simi Valley, Thousand Oaks out that way, they do a great job. Central Coast, they honor their kids. They have these kind of games in place, and they've had them in place for years. And when ours went away, with the budget crisis and the newspapers starting to struggle a little bit, when ours went away, the void was, you could feel it. You could sense it. Even Riverside, they do some things down there.
Certainly.
So San Bernardino County just left this wide open void, and I think you and I met at exactly the right time, with the right idea, and so it's important because just looking at the response that we've gotten from every brunch and every game that we've had, to see the joy in the families' faces when their son or daughter's been honored, that's what it's all about.
Man. That's why I think just you and I, Rome. Just you and I, we can do this. We can make it work. We can make it. But I know we're pressed up against time. But I'll say, Greg, we got 2 minutes, right? Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, one thing that I'll say is when we went to, speaking of honoring the kids, Mayor Warren
speak on that, man.
has been so instrumental in making this game happen. She is the namesake for the scholarship. Without Mayor Warren's support and love, this game wouldn't happen. She gave you a pass. She first of all, I'll say, she said this is the words of Mayor Warren. She said Riverside has been using our kids for years, but we're going to take them back. We're going to give our kids the honor they deserve in San Bernardino.
I love it.
And then second, Mayor Warren said that you're excused from attending the city council meeting because she understood you were out there playing against Kaiser when we honored the kids this past Monday. So she said you're excused.
She knew the deal already.
Yeah,
she already knew the deal.
But she was happy because she said she knew Fontana was going to win that night. So she didn't know who, but she said she was happy that Fontana would win that night. And Mr. Hunt was there.
Oh, yeah, Ted Hunt. Big up to Ted Hunt for the Fontana POA.
Thank you, Mr. Vesti, for all your support as well. So.
Indeed.
And Boost Mobile is back.
Look. My Boost Mobile chirping. You got Boost Mobile's going back in. But again, we are excited. So, folks, make sure you mark your calendar. Coach Rome, tell us again when that All-Star game is going on, please.
That's going to be the evening of April 17th. Girls game, boys game. And then the soccer game date yet to be announced, but we're going to start putting teams together in the next 2 weeks.
Fantastic, man.
For both events.
And we may be doing something for cheer.
We're
still
talking
tentative.
about that. Rah-rah sis kumbah.
What's the cheer coach name at AB?
That's Coach Monique Martinez. She does a tremendous job. She's involved in USA Cheer. She's building a tremendous program at our school. And cheer, if you know, is now a recognized CIF sport.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. We got to.
We got to do it. Monique, if you're listening,
set it off.
Greg, do me a favor. Kill the music for a second. Monique,
hold on. Here's his 30-second elevator pitch. Run it.
If you're listening, if you want to do something great, you want to do something special for San Bernardino County that will raise the bar for generations to come on and get with Coach B, with Coach Rome. And Eternal, and we'll do something special.
No pressure.
All right, that's it.
No pressure. Like Suge said, if you don't want to be, if you don't want to buy in the video, dancing and singing, all up in the video.
That will be us. We will be all up in the video. But it's all good, man. So this is a great show. Our San Francisco State.
Yeah, big up to Kiara Genwright. San Francisco State Gators again leading the nation right now in blocks. Just a very special young, as a freshman. I want to say.
We got to go.
So
Greg,
we got to get out of here, man. So
right.
big up to Coach Rome. We out of here, man.
Thanks, guys.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com.
Nobody does NASCAR in Riverside quite like us. Fox Sports 13.